Hello, hello. I kind of want to make a thing on my podcast. Every time I do an episode, at the start, I give somewhat of a life update plus like a hyperfixation I have before getting into the main topic. My whole point about this podcast is I want to make a space for people where it feels like I'm talking to y'all like a bestie. Like, we're just having a chat wherever we are, updating my life and whatever I'm interested in can apply to that. Make it feel more real. So hopefully y'all are down with that before I speak about the main topic. So let's get into that first. First thing, I kind of want to talk about the movies I've been seeing in the past few weeks. The first one I saw was People We Met on Vacation. Super cute movie. Poppy and Alex, perfection. I think the only con I have about that movie is I wish there was more backstory between these two characters. We mostly just see them going on vacations, and I mean, of course, that's the whole point. But I kind of just want to know more about them. We kind of get that through Poppy's point of view. We get to see, or she talks about her childhood, get to meet her parents. But with Alex, he's more about like, oh, I just want to stay in one place and have a family. But we don't really get to see like his parents or like his parents' point of view of how he grew up. Just honestly that tweak. And I think in the book you do get that, but just it's not in the movie as much. The next movie I want to talk about is Primate. Oh my god. I think that was the most stressful movie I've ever seen in my life because the whole time, me and my brother, I watched it with my brother, right? We were just like this the whole time, like, oh my god, oh my god. It's not even like scary, like, it's not like a scary movie, but I think it's just like the jump scares in that movie is good because you don't know what's gonna happen. If you can handle like the goriness of it all, then I would definitely recommend this movie. Honestly, a 10 out of 10. I was just like on the edge of my seat the whole time with my brother. Another movie I recently saw, literally yesterday actually, Away We Go. It has John Krasinski and Maya Rudolph. Both great. Both have great chemistry. And it's such a simple movie. It definitely reminds me of 500 Days of Summer and Little Miss Sunshine. Like the vibe, like the feeling of it is very like indie 2000s movie. So I really like it for that reason. But yeah, the pacing was great. The chemistry between the characters were great. I think I will give it like a 9 out of 10. I honestly felt like it should have been just like a tad longer, but hey, I'm not complaining. It was great. And then the last movie I want to talk about a little bit is Misery. I've seen it before in my childhood. I haven't seen it in a while, and I was with my friend. She's never seen it, so we watched it together, and she thought it was really great. If you've seen Carrie or the It films, Misery. Watch Misery. It's great. Kathy Bates is the female lead in that film. Absolutely crushes it. She's so amazing at playing a psycho woman. She's so good. The performance, amazing. Kathy Bates, amazing. Movie, amazing. Next update, besides movies. I finished my first book for this year called The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. It was not a pleasant read. I'm just going to be so honest. The concept was there. It was very much up my alley. If you need to know the summary of it, it is about a woman who almost, offs herself. But she's not fully dead. She's in the in between phase, right? And in this in between phase, she goes to the Midnight Library. She meets a librarian, and the said librarian helps her out through the books because the books represent a life she could have had. Like an example of like she could have married this one guy she was seeing. She could have been a singer in a band. She could have been a competitive swimmer, or she could have been with this other guy. She could have been other things. And yes, it was very much up my alley just because I really do like fantasy realism. I think that's been up my alley for a few years, I would say, and I've read books like that, but the writing in this and just the way how the story played out was not my favorite. I didn't mind it in the beginning, but near like the middle to like quarter to the end of it, I was just frustrated. The ending wasn't terrible, but I was just like, was it worth my time? No. But the thing is with me and books, like I actually try to finish it from because I bought it, right? With movies, like you can stream it whenever and you don't have to feel so bad about your time kind of, but with books I'm like, this person wrote this. I have the handheld copy of it, and I paid my money. I paid like 20 something dollars for it, so I'm gonna finish it. So it could be worth my money. Worth my time? Eh, eh. Anyways, before we get into the main discussion of today's episode, let me give a proper introduction. Hello, my name is Morgan, aka Morio. This is the Real Small Talk podcast where I range from talking about philosophical discussions, kind of, to life advice, to my hyperfixation on a movie, TV show, books, music, maybe drama that happens on the internet, whatever I'm feeling like, and I just cannot keep it down. I have to spill my guts about it. Yeah, I'm just that girl. I just yap your little ear off. And I want y'all to think about this podcast as a place where it's a safe space for you to just chill out when you're off the clock or out of school, or even when you're doing your routine. I just want to feel like it's a little chat and very chill. Somewhat it can get chaotic, but hey, I hope you stay, relax, and let's talk about today's topic. Today's discussion, today's chat that I will be talking about is the phrase fake it till you make it. Obviously, just break it down a little bit. We'll talk about what it means. Is it good to apply it to your life? The pros and cons of it, and my in conclusion. What does fake it till you make it even mean? What is the meaning of this phrase? There's two things that pop up in my mind when I hear this phrase. One is having the mindset that you are at your goal, whatever that is, wherever you want to be, but you're not actually there yet. The second thing that pops into my mind, you have to have somewhat of a delusional mindset. That's how I see, or what I think fake it till you make it means, in a sense of achieving your goals. But there is somewhat, it could relate to like even human interactions and your goals with those human interactions. If you want to apply this phrase in your life, right? You think like, oh, it sounds good. Like, I think I could apply this to my life. It really depends on the situation you're in. I just want to be realistic about that because I feel like, let's say you apply this phrase to wanting to become like an astronaut, right? But you don't have the experience. You can't just go to NASA, the company, and be like, hey, I want to be an astronaut. Do you have experience? No, I just want to go up in space. You know the answer is not going to be okay. Yeah, no, they're going to say no. You need the experience. It is a delusional mindset, but in a sense, like it's not fully delusional, right? You can apply this in terms of like starting a business, or if you want to become a content creator, or if you want to become an actress, a musician. You have to start somewhere. You can't just do it and expect it to magically appear that it's successful, right? It has to be progressive. And this could also apply to even like at a job or at school, right? You are in school and you're like, I want to graduate. I want to get a diploma. I want to get this degree. And that is your whole goal. It is a little bit different in terms of like starting a business or becoming a creator or musician, right? For that, when you want to become something, there's different directions you can go through. When it comes to school, I think there's a little bit more steps, obviously. Like, even for like if you want to become a doctor, you have to be in school for like 10 years, like at least, or it could be a little bit less than that. I don't know. Never went to college or university, right? But I would assume in terms of like you want to become a doctor, yeah, you have to go to school. You have to be there for a few years and be certified for that. And this can also apply to even a job. You want to become the manager, you want to become the operations of the whole system. You have to have the steps, you have to work up your way in order to do that. And for all of these things that I've just mentioned, like the occupations and like how to get where you want to be and everything, they all fall into the same place in terms of you have to have confidence in yourself. When I wanted to start this podcast, I had to be a little bit realistic. Like, it's not going to blow up overnight. Okay. That is, I mean, for some people, they're lucky for sure. But for me, I'm like, I always have the mindset like, I want to do this, but I cannot be delusional in terms of like, it's going to blow up. No, no. But I can have the delusion of, I can act like I'm already where I'm at when I'm not actually there yet. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Like, I'm not at, let's say, 100 followers, right? I'm at 0, but I can act like I have 100 followers. You know what I mean? Or my podcast like has a 5 review, like 5 out of 5 star review, but really it has no reviews. But let me act like, yeah, it is where it's at. So I think that's how you can apply it to your life if it's the right time for you, right? Again, you can't just be like, oh, let me do this thing even though I don't have that much experience. No, you need to have the little bit of experience, but you can still believe that it could happen, right? I feel like a great example of this is like Bad Bunny, right? Brother has only been in the game for 10 years and now he's a Grammy winner for best album and he performed at the Super Bowl. Don't know much about Bad Bunny, but he seems amazing, right? Another example is like Connor Storie from like Heated Rivalry. He said he worked 8 months ago at a restaurant and now he's on like one of the most talked drama shows that is like really popular right now. Heated Rivalry, such a show, by the way, to watch. Oh my god. Definitely like it feels like challengers. People were right about that. If you see someone that literally said they started with nothing and now they're there, it is definitely the mindset I feel like people can apply fake it till you make it. At the end of the day, I think in terms of pro of following this phrase in your life, believe in yourself, have confidence. Don't be delusional to the point where, in terms of like no experience, you have to have a little bit. You have to have a little bit of a resume in order to get where you want to be. You have free will. If you want to make it happen, you're going to make it happen. And that's the beauty, I think, in the phrase fake it till you make it. Now, let's get to the con of this phrase. Why I don't think it will work out if you follow this phrase in a certain situation you're in, right? Let's say you do want to achieve these things, right? But you have to be sneaky about it. You kind of feel like you're changing who you are as a person. You're changing in terms of your morals, your beliefs, your values, right? If that's how you're feeling, don't do it. It is not worth it. Do not continue it if you feel like you're going to be changed, or if you feel like your thoughts have changed through the process of this goal, like maybe it's not meant for you, right? Then yeah, I don't think this applies for sure. You know, this is a cliche, but I think this mostly applies to like human interactions though, to get to said goal. Like you want to date the hottest person in school, right? You are kind of making these connections, but you're also somewhat changing yourself and it's not actually who you are to date this person. It's like it's not worth it, right? There's going to be somebody out there for you who will love you, who will care about you. Don't do it, honey. It is not worth it. This could be even applied to being in said relationship if it's toxic, though. If it's really bad. I don't know why I thought about this. If you're in a toxic relationship, whether that's a relationship or a friendship, right? And you're just like, oh, there's like, I don't know why they're treating me this way, but maybe the more time I hang out with them, they'll realize that they treated me shitty and they'll apologize for what they did. Fake it till you make it is somewhat in that mentality, I think, because I'm just like, that's some whack ass like thoughts. You know what I'm saying? No, you should not be in a shitty situation in order to think it's going to get better. It's never the case. If I continue to be in this situation and to treat them good and they realize, maybe they'll also realize how they've been acting. Trust me, I've had this mindset in relationships and friendships. Never works. I mostly see it in a work situation. Like you want to, let's say you want to become the CEO or you want to take over the company, right? Because the CEO is kind of wanting to retire. But if you're working your way sneakily and you feel like a fraud and you don't feel good about it, don't do it. Same thing, it could be applied to like becoming an actress or an actor. You got this movie deal and you're the main lead, but they're making you do something you never imagined yourself doing and you don't even want to do. Don't do it. Even if it's a big movie role, don't do it. It's not worth it. If it doesn't make you comfortable and you feel like a fraud that you're doing it, it's not worth it. Even if it could be amazing for you at the end of it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. You have free will at the end of the day. So that's why I think it can become a con in terms of like interacting with people, making connections. But if it's not working out for you, don't continue. In The Office, Michael Scott, one of the main characters of the show, he leaves Dunder Mifflin. He quits and starts his own paper company and gets a few, or honestly, just two people to work with him, Pam and Ryan. Pam was doubting it. I think on the first day or the second day, she's like, I don't know why I left my job. I was sitting like 2 feet across from my husband, and now I'm doing this. And there was one thing, I don't know it word for word, but like Michael was just like, listen, people have doubted me so many times, but that fuels my motivation. That is a prime example of fake it till you make it, right? People who doubt you, people who think you can't do it, like if you really want to do something, but there's that other person or those people who are like, she will never do it. They will never do it. Fuck them. What? I'm doing it. Who cares? Who cares? It brings me back to like even when you start on like as another example on social media, right? If you're wanting to do social media, you have to put yourself out there in a sense. And if you're thinking about like, oh, but what if people like, judge me and all that, they're bums. They don't have the balls. I said this in a previous episode. If people are judging the fuck out of you for getting where you want to be, they don't have the guts to do it themselves. That's why they're judging you, and they're also insecure. They think where they are in life right now is that's it for them. But if you're trying to get out of it and you're trying to be different, they're like, "Oh my god, ew." Don't listen to them. They're a bunch of idiots, okay? Think about any person that inspires you. You think they didn't go through the same thing where people were they definitely did. There's probably people who did doubt them, but they're like, no way, I'm still gonna do what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be, point blank period. And I've been in that situation too. Anything I've done online or in general, and I've had people being like, I don't think you should. There's times where I did listen to them, but now I'm a grown woman, right? I'm 25. I'm just like, I have free will. If I want to do it, I do it. If I regret it later on, I'll regret it later on. It is my choice. And yeah, just going back to my reference with Michael Scott, he's a prime example of fake it till you make it because he made that paper company, the Michael Scott paper company, work. Even though it got, demolished near the end, but he still got money out of it anyway. So it's still a win-win situation. Now, in terms of like a con in a way, I'm going to talk about my experience. If people didn't know, or you might have heard me talk about it on the pod before, but I had, or I still let some have this other account called Made by Morio, solely based of me creating things. At first, I was just mostly making like wired jewelry, and then I transitioned to making crocheted items. I started getting into crochet. It got very addictive when I started, and I had a lot of fun doing it. But then my friends and family would just be like, "Oh, you should make a business out of it. Like you should go to do markets and all that and make money." Right? But the thing is, my whole purpose of doing what I was doing on that account is just me having projects and working on them, whether that's from me or someone like requested it from me, right? I was like convinced to doing it, and I did. I've done markets and they were great. It's a great experience I had, and I had a good time when doing them. But I knew deep down that this isn't what the purpose was for me making that account. It was just solely me creating stuff. So yeah, I felt burnt out and I felt like this isn't right for me right now, and I don't know if it's going to be a thing for me anymore. I don't want to be 100% on it, but yeah, I made like an announcement that I'm taking a break from posting for the account, for my Made by Mario account, and I'm just going to focus on other things. It's a con in terms of like I started to feel not myself. And that's what I was saying, that it's a con when you start becoming like it starts to feel like you're a fraud. And that's exactly how I felt. It wasn't worth it. If it's not for me anymore, it's not for me anymore. Right? Or if it was never for me, it was never for me. I feel like essentially this phrase of fake it till you make it really works if you have someone, yeah, a little bit of a delusional mindset of you are where you want to be, you are at the goal you want to be at, but still have the practice and motivation of still going till you actually are there. And don't apply to this goal if you start becoming or you start feeling like a fraud. You start feeling not like yourself. Be where you want to be at the end of it. Don't be a fraud at the end of it. And that was this week's episode of Real Small Talk. Yeah. Oh, Jesus Lord. This is my second take for this episode. And I'm getting a little tired looking at myself and recording and talking. No one noticed I'm filming on my laptop. I usually film on my iPad, but I am thinking of selling it since I have this now. And the reason why I have a new laptop, I have a MacBook now. My Lenovo was on its last leg. I've had it for almost like 6 years, and it was about to die on me. And I'm like, I gotta splurge. I honestly have to, even though I don't have a lot of money in my life right now. Money's gonna come back to me, bringing back that fake it till you make it mindset. Money is gonna come back, and I know it. Anyways, if you want to keep up with my podcast on other social platforms other than Spotify and YouTube, I am on IG and TikTok at Real Small Talk Podcast. Everything's that handle, just to be clear on that, on everything. Besides Spotify, I think you just have to type in Real Small Talk. And that's pretty much it. Yes, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate your time. Have an amazing day or evening wherever you are in the world. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!